Right. Good afternoon, everyone. Finally, we're getting there. So, what you're going to learn about today is physical computing. And that implies a few things. One is you have physical bits. Second, you have programming. And third, you have computing. Okay? In other words, we're going to deal with electronics, circuits, programming, debugging, and testing. Okay? A lot of these are new things, new concepts for you. And a lot of these words are not something you're familiar with. So, what I need to do as the lecturer of the module is few things at the same time. Familiarize you with physical computing, introduce you to the skills of physical computing, and get you to acquire some of the knowledge. Fair? Okay. How to do that? There are many ways. There's one way that I use, there are ways that other people use. But I'll go from the presumption that you have zero knowledge in physical computing, and we build from that. So to do that, we're going to use at the practical level, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to have a computer, we're going to have a USB cable, we're going to have an Arduino board, and we're going to have all sorts of electronic components attached to the Arduino board. So, the key elements is that you need a PC, we need a USB cable, we need an Arduino board, and we need some electronics. And here we have sensors, we have actuators, we have transducer, etc. We have switch, etc., etc. So, here again, I'm talking about things you guys are not familiar with. So, how do we do all these things? Here, and I give you one each. And at some point, hey, you pass one over there. You guys can sit together. Don't sit alone and sit in groups. Thank God I said open the box. So, inside this box, you have all sorts of things. You have the USB cable. You have a lot of cables. You have all the things that I said, electronics. You have more electronics. You have a power supply. You have what you call a breadboard. and you have an Arduino board. And that's the kit you're going to use. Here are more electronic sensors, and there's more on this side. Here is my collection of breadboards. They come in all sizes. I have a lot of them. And here is more electronic. Here you have a lot of LEDs. Here you have a lot of actuators and mechanical parts. And here you have my collection of resistors. Okay, so we're going to pause here for a second and we're going to think. So there's a lot of things and you're not familiar with. So we need to think about it carefully. Don't open anything, please, because there's statics and there's things you're going to do to damage. Don't touch it. Just put it back. Let me explain. Before you do anything, do not take initiative because you're going to damage things. So if you don't know, don't do. That's the first rule, and thank you for bringing it up. If you do not know, don't do, okay? That's the first rule. And there are few rules you need to know. You don't know what's in front of you, don't touch it. Any cables you can handle the way you want, as long as they're not connected to anything. Anything that's connected to a computer or power supply, you avoid to touch any of the metallic terminals, okay? It's not that it's going to kill you. We're talking 12 volts or 5, actually we're talking 6 volts and milliamps. It's not going to kill you, but it's going to damage the electronics. Second thing, the Arduino board, you handle it in a certain way. The way to handle it is to pick it from the metallic shelving on the USB port, or to pick it like this. Because if you finger touch some of the component, you may create statics, and you may be statically charged, and there may be a static discharge on the component, and you might damage the board. So you hold it like this, not like that, always on the edge, or you hold it from this. If there is any component with some electronic circuitry, some integrated circuits like here, an integrated circuit is any of these black things with legs going on each side. These are called pins. And this is called a dual inline chip. So you do you recognize a chip, yeah? It's an integrated circuit. So anything like that, don't touch with your fingers because you're statistically charged and you can damage it. So to be safe, you always hold things by the edge or where you see a grounding. Now we get to a second rule, which I will explain later, but I've mentioned it. And I will explain it later. It's called ground. But we'll come back to this later. Probably not today. Just remind yourselves that I'm going to talk a lot about the ground, and I will explain to you what it means. Okay. So far, any questions? Right. You're all there, yeah? Harry, are you there? Okay. First point, this, where you have a computer, a USB, the Arduino board, and some electronics. Believe me not, but around 3/4 of your problems are going to come because you haven't connected the USB cable, either here or here, or because your computer is not on, or because you didn't connect this properly. That's 3/4 of the problems you're going to be facing in this module, is that you forget, and the biggest of all is you forget to connect your USB cable onto your computer. So you're doing your circuit, you have the Arduino, it's all there, it's not working because you forgot to connect to your laptop. And you will make that mistake. Don't think you won't. I do it myself often. So that means the second rule is check your circuit. And in this case, it's just a theoretical circuit. We have a PC, we have a USB cable, we have the Arduino, we have electronics, okay? These are 2 rules that form the basis of everything else. The third rule, which you're gonna love, is, so this is if you don't like the Constitution, is 1, 2, and third one you're gonna love it, and I do mean it, be lazy. Yes! Thank you for the sound effect. That means don't try to reinvent the wheel. If it's been done before, reuse it. If someone done it, don't do it again, okay? Now, we will go through a lot of exercises and things to understand that. So far, any questions? So remember these 3 rules. If you don't know, don't do. Check your circuit and be lazy. Okay? And the 4th rule, which is not part of the electronics but part of the new module, always ask. Ask me again, interrupt me, ask me. You missed something, ask me. I was explaining something, you were on Facebook, ask me. You were, I don't know doing what, and I said something, you missed it, ask me. You followed me and then suddenly you can't follow anymore, ask me. Anytime, anything, even the smallest detail is not clear, ask me. Ask me, ask me. It's a very, it's like teaching you how to ride a bicycle. It's not easy to teach. It's not easy to learn, but by doing that you learn. So it's by you doing physical computing that you're going to learn to do it. That means there are also a drawback. I will lose my patience, I will lose my temper, I'm human, I will try to control it, but there will be someone who say to you, listen to me and stop asking the same question. Just ignore me and carry on asking, okay? Because it's human nature, at some point I will be tired of explaining it again, but keep asking, okay?